So today we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 7th chapter and 18th verse. So you can Google it. You can write SB, Srimad Bhagavatam SB 2.7.18. So we can read. Nartho baler ayam urukrama pada socham.
Nartho baler ayam urukrama pada socham.
Apashikha dhritavato vibudha dhipatyam.
Apastika ditamato vibudha adhipatyam.
Yo vai pratishrutam ritena chikirshad anyat.
Yo vai pratishrutam ritena chikirshad anyat.
Atmanam anga manasa haraye bhimene
I try, Mataji. Nato baleraya muru krama pada saucham.
Nato baleraya murukramapada saucham.
Apa sikha dritavato vibudha adhipatyam.
Apashika dritavato vibodhahipatyam.
Yo vai pratishrutam ritena chikirshadanyad.
Yo vai pratishrutam ritena chikirsadanyad.
Atmanamanga manasa haraye bhimane.
Atmanamanga manasa haraye vimane. Mataji, anyone?
Nartho baleraya murukramapada saucham.
Nartho baleraya murukramapada saucham.
Apashika dritavato vibudhadipatyam.
Apashika dritavato vibudhadipatyam.
Yo vai pratishrutam ritena chikirsadanyad.
Yo vai pratishrutam ritena chikirsadanyad.
Atmanamanga manasa haraye bhimine.
Atmanamanga manasa haraye vimane. Thank you, everyone. So we'll read word by word translation. Na never,
Never.
artha
Artha
of any value in comparison with,
of any value in comparison with.
bale
Bale
of strength,
of strength.
I am this,
This.
urukrama
Gurukrama
pada shocham,
pada saucham.
the water washed from the feet of the personality of Godhead.
The water washed from the feet of the personality of Godhead.
Apaha,
Apaha
water,
water.
shikha,
Shikha
dhritvata,
Dritavata.
of one who has kept it on his head.
Of one who has kept it on his head.
Vibudha adhipatyam,
Vibhuda adhipatyam.
supremacy over the kingdom of the demigods.
Supremacy over the kingdom of the demigods.
Ya,
Ya.
one
One.
who, why, certainly,
Certainly.
pratishutam,
Pratishrutam.
what was duly promised.
What was duly promised.
Ritena,
Ritena.
besides that,
Besides that.
chikirshat,
Chikirsha.
tried for, anyat,
Anyat.
anything else,
Anything else.
atmanam,
Atmanam.
even his personal body,
Even his personal body.
anga,
Anga.
O Narad,
Narad.
manasa,
Manasa.
within his mind,
Within his mind.
haraye,
Haraye.
unto the Supreme Lord,
Unto the Supreme Lord.
abhimene,
Abhimene.
dedicated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Jai.
Bali Maharaj, who put on his head the water washed from the lotus feet of the Lord, did not think of anything besides his promise, in spite of being forbidden by his spiritual master. The king dedicated his own personal body to fulfill the measurement of the Lord's third step. For such a personality, even the kingdom of heaven, which he conquered by his strength, was of no value. Bali Maharaj, by gaining the transcendental favor of the Lord in exchange for his great material sacrifice, was able to have a place in Vaikuntha Loka with equal or greater facilities of eternal enjoyment. Therefore, he was not at all the loser by sacrificing the kingdom of heaven, which he had possessed by his material strength. In other words, when the Lord snatches away one's hard-earned material possessions and favors one with his personal transcendental service for eternal life, bliss and knowledge, such taking away by the Lord should be considered a special favor upon such a pure devotee. Material possessions, however alluring they may be, cannot be permanent possessions. Therefore, one has to voluntarily give up such possessions, or one has to leave such possessions at the time of quitting his material body. The sane man knows that all material possessions are temporary and that the best use of such possessions is to engage them in the service of the Lord so that the Lord may be pleased with him and award him a permanent place in his Param Dham. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.5 to 6, the Param Dham of the Lord is described as follows. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha dvair vimukta sukha dukha samnyan gachanti amudha padan avyayam tad na tad bharisayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nirvantate yad tad dhama paramam mama. One who possesses more in this material world in the shape of houses, land, children, society, friendship and wealth possesses these things only for the time being. One cannot possess all this illusory paraphernalia created by Maya permanently. Such a possessor is more illusion in the matter of his self-realization. Therefore, one should possess less or nothing so that one may be free from artificial prestige. We are contaminated in the material world by association with the three modes of material nature. Therefore, the more one spiritually advances by devotional service to the Lord in exchange for his temporary possessions, the more one is freed from the attachment of the material illusion. To achieve this stage of life, one must be firmly convinced about the spiritual existence and its permanent effects. To know exactly the permanency of spiritual existence, one must voluntarily practice possessing less or only the minimum to maintain one's material existence without difficulty. One should not create artificial needs that will help one be satisfied with the minimum. Artificial needs of life are activities of the senses. The modern advancement of civilization is based on these activities of the senses, or in other words, it is a civilization of sense gratification. Perfect civilization is the civilization of Atma, or the soul proper. The civilized man of sense gratification is on an equal level with animals because animals cannot go beyond the activities of the senses. Above the senses is the mind. The civilization of mental speculation is also not the perfect stage of life because above the mind is the intelligence. And the Bhagavad Gita gives us the information of the intellectual civilization. The Vedic literatures give different directions for the human civilization, including the civilization of senses, of the mind, of the intelligence, and of the soul proper. The Bhagavad Gita primarily deals with the intelligence of the man, leading one to the progressive path of civilization of the spirit soul. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is a complete human civilization dealing with the subject matter of the soul proper. As soon as a man is raised to the status of the civilization of the soul, he is fit to be promoted to the kingdom of God, which is described in the Bhagavad Gita as per the above verses. The primary information of the kingdom of God informs us that there is no need of sun, moon, or electricity, which are all necessary in this material world of darkness. And the secondary information of the kingdom of God explains that anyone able to reach that kingdom by adoption of civilization of the soul proper, or in other words, by the method of Bhakti Yoga, attains the highest perfection of life. One is then situated in the permanent existence of the soul with full knowledge of transcendental loving service for the Lord. Bali Maharaj accepted this civilization of the soul in exchange for this great material possessions and thus became fit for promotion to the kingdom of God. The kingdom of heaven, which he achieved by dint of his material power, was considered most insignificant in comparison with the kingdom of God. Those who have attained the comforts of uh, a material civilization made for sense gratification should try to attain the kingdom of God by following the footsteps of Bali Maharaj, who exchanged his acquired material strength, adopting the process of bhakti yoga as recommended in the Bhagavad Gita and further explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So now we'll chant the prayer. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sakitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Savijatam Sahagana Rathagunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ravita Shri Vishakam Vitam Syam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jilapate Gopesha Gopikata Namastute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Pavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So, thank you everyone for coming, and I want to beg for forgiveness for being very late. So I got late and then the tram got late, so there were two things. So we are discussing this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7 and 18th verse, where we are talking about Bali Maharaj. So this chapter is talking about the scheduled incarnations of the Lord. So we are every week we are discussing some incarnation of the Lord. So here today yesterday also we talked about Bali Maharaj pastime, and I don't know if yesterday like they discussed the pastime of the Lord. So I will briefly just very quick share the story, like what exactly the last part of the story, and then we'll discuss what the philosophical points mentioned by Prabhupada here. So here Vamandev, as we all know, he is the incarnation of the Lord, and he is in the form of a dwarf, and he is a Brahmana and very beautiful. Like his whole persona is very beautiful, and he came to Bali Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj is a king in the lineage of Prahlad Maharaj, but he belonged to a demonic family, but still he was a devotee. Like his spiritual master was Shukracharya, like the spiritual master of demons, but still like Bali Maharaj, he was a devotee. So Bali Maharaj, he is a king, and he is a very powerful king, as he conquered the three worlds, like he conquered the heavenly planets as well. So the demigods, they were all little bit afraid of him. And Bali Maharaj, like he had the whole like three worlds, and he was ruling over it. And so Vaman Dev came to him one day, and Bali Maharaj was very much in favor, like he appreciated and he honored Brahmanas. And so one day Vaman Dev came, and since he was a Brahman, so Bali Maharaj asked him that you can ask for whatever you want, whatever you like, you can ask. So Bali Maharaj said, I want just 3 steps of land. So Bali Maharaj said that only 3 steps of land, like that's very less, like that's very very less, like I can give you more, I can give you the whole village, I can give you palace or whatever you want, I can give, like it's just very less, so you should ask for more. So Vaman Dev said that if one cannot be satisfied in 3 steps of land, then he cannot be satisfied in the 3 worlds. Even if he has so much, his desires won't be satisfied. So I'm satisfied with the 3 steps. So then Bali Maharaj said okay, and then Vaman Dev, he started to expand, and he became very 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 huge. And then he took first step, and then he conquered the whole Bhuloka in which we are present. And then in the second step, he took both the other 2 planetary systems, and then he covered the whole whole of his kingdom. And then Vaman Dev asked him that okay, you promised me to give 3 steps, but you have not, where should I keep my 3rd step? There is no space left where I can keep my 3rd step. So Bali Maharaj, he was very much like he saw this, and he since he promised that he would give his like 3 steps of land, and also he knew that he is Lord Vishnu himself, so he offered his own head, and he asked Vaman Dev to keep his foot on his head, and like he gave Bali Maharaj surrendered unto him. That's Atma Nivedanam, and the Lord accepted. So this is what, and also here it's mentioned that Bali Maharaj, who put on his head the water washed from the lotus feet of the Lord. So the water is basically coming from like when Vaman Dev captured the whole planetary systems, like his toenail pierced the material covering of the universe, and from that causal ocean, Karnai Dakshay ocean, Karnai Dakshay leaked, like the water from Karna Dakshay ocean, it leaked from the cracks into the material universe, and from there this came out as Ganga. So like this water, it washed the feet of Vaman Dev, and then this water also touched Bali Maharaj's head. So yeah, this is the pastime in very short, and so we will discuss like what are the different points mentioned. Just a second. Yeah. So here basically there is like in regard to like mentality of Bali Maharaj, we should look at here. So Bali Maharaj, he is a king, and he had so many material possessions. Like he had the whole three worlds, and he was a powerful king. And it's not that he inherited the kingdom. So there are two ways: either you inherit the possessions, or you conquer, you get them after you do some work and you get the material possessions. So for Bali Maharaj, he conquered these whole kingdoms, right? And and then he basically gave up all his material possessions at that moment, even though his spiritual master Shukracharya told him that don't give anything to Vaman Dev, he is Vishnu, don't give him. So since Bali Maharaj, he was a pure devotee, he offered his material possessions, and he also offered his own body to Lord Vaman Dev, and since he is a pure devotee, and because of this act, he got the transcendental favor of the Lord, and he basically perfected his life at that very moment that he gave up all his material possessions. So this is the whole, like if we read the purport, the whole purport revolves around giving up your material possessions. Like how all the material possessions, they are temporary, and we should not we should give up our material possessions. So like all the, like everything which we have, it could be like external things like mobile phone, or like house, land, family, these are all everything which is there is all our material possessions. And we are since in contact with material nature, we are in this world, and we are governed by the laws of this material world, and the material world is governed by the laws of material nature, and three of its aspects are sattva, rajas and tamas, like mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So these are basically governing us all, but we have to not get indulge in some in these things so much, and we should try to give up our material possessions. But more important than this is basically the mentality of having the possession. It could be possible that a beggar is also proud of his penny. So it's not about somebody is rich or poor, but it's all about the mentality of having this possession. Like I have this, like I own this. So this giving up this mentality is very important. So here it says that we have to give up our material possessions to perfect our lives, but it's not necessary that it's only just by giving material possessions, by renouncing everything, I have perfected my life. That's not true. It could be possible that even a person who renounces everything could be also not even near to the path of perfection. He's even not near. It could be possible that okay, I gave up everything, and then I'm thinking, oh, that my van was so nice, my mobile phone was so nice, my house was so nice, I'm here struggling so much. So this is not renunciation. Renunciation is that you completely give away and you don't really care about it. That is renunciation. So there are also there will be, so here Bali Maharaj, he was tested by the Lord. He was tested by Vaman Dev, and we will all get this test in our lives. At some point or the other, we will get this litmus test where we will be tested for different things. And then there will be also a final test when we'll quit the body. So if suppose a person leaving the body, he is attached to material possessions. So for him, like leaving the body itself will be very painful process, because just imagine if I'm going on the street and somebody comes and snatches away my purse, my mobile phone, like all my belongings, my bag, and then I'll be like completely and suppose my documents were there, so I will feel like, oh my god, like what happened, like I might be devastated that okay, I lost my money, also my documents and everything, and it's completely devastating, right? But imagine if we give up our body, like we cannot stop somebody taking our soul from the body. So death we all will face this in our lives at some point, some sooner, some later. But at that point, if we are we are attached to the material possessions, suppose my house or my family, and we are being taken away, but we don't want to leave. If we are attached, then it will be a very painful process for us to actually leave the body. But for a pure devotee who is renounced, like mentally renounced from material possessions, then for him it will be like a very easy, like it will be like just waking up from your bed, like getting out of the bed after sleeping. It will be that easy, like to leave the body. So that is how that we should renounce this mentality of owning things. That is important, and it's very subtle, like we don't realize it, but it's very subtle, and bhakti is very subtle. It's not as easy as like just giving away it externally, but it's what inside. We have to purify our internal things. So one day Radhanath Maharaj, he was traveling, and in the plane beside him was a very famous environmentalist. I don't remember the name, but one very political environmentalist next to him. And then she told that okay, we are doing this for environment and this and that. We are cleaning rivers and whatnot. We are taking care of animals and this and that. What are you doing? So then he said that we are taking care of the internal environment, like inner environment. We are cleaning in inner environment. You are cleaning outer environment. We are cleaning in inner environment. So bhakti is a path for spiritual cleansing inside. We are so polluted inside. There's so much pollution inside us, but so we need to clean it. So like these days, like we talk about a lot of news regarding like the air quality index of New Delhi, like it's so much polluted there, and also along with other metro cities in India, like it's heavy pollution there. So we are talking about that, but nobody is really talking about like the AQI of our own self. And the AQI, we can measure our AQI with all these anarthas like lust, anger, pride, envy, ego, illusion. So, and we can measure our own AQI if we read Shastras. So Shastras are like the mirror to our own self. Like when we look at the mirror, like the real, like the external mirror, we see our body, we don't see our soul. But when we read our Shastras, we will really, and when we read Bhagavad Gita and also Srimad Bhagavatam, like when we, in Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read different pastimes of different devotees, like how they reacted in certain situations, how, like, and when we read it, then we can get a measure of our own self, like where are we. It's like a mirror which shows that okay, what is our level, what is our status, and how much I have to work on it. So therefore we should read Shastras so that we can know our own AQI and then really work on it. So we all expect like the government in India to take steps to reduce the like pollution, like air pollution India, like in different cities, and we basically talk about it. There is, whole news about it, that why government is not doing anything, and we are criticizing that this government is bad, it doesn't take any responsibility. But what are we taking the responsibility of our own self? So we should take the responsibility our own self, and take measures. So we know that we have, this 700, 800, 1300 AQI, our own self, and we need to take measures. We need to take responsibility of our own self, and take the path of spirituality, and take the path of bhakti, and it's there. Devotees are going out on Sankirtan to distribute books, to really share, shout out, like chant, do kirtan, do read books, do hear, take sadhu sangha, do seva. Still, if we are not doing it, then we are basically misleading our own self. So it's very dangerous that we are really deluding our own self, because it's very like we won't be able to remain peaceful and happy. And these days you can hear a lot of political news about very critical situation, like the geopolitical situation all around the world, like different war fronts opening up. And in this era, and in 2-3 years maybe more such things might be happening. So how can we, like, if right now we are very comfortable situation, that okay, we have a house, we have heating system, we have Wi-Fi, and we can communicate with our friends, family, we have food to eat. But then at one time, if things might get disrupted, at any time, like in few days ago, like there was this power cut in Berlin. I don't know how many of you were affected with it, but like a simple power cut can also disrupt one's life. No mobile phone, you cannot charge, you cannot do other items, you are completely disconnected from the world. So it's then in that situation, how can you basically, on what thing you can rely on? Just ask yourself, right? If we won't take shelter of the Lord, if we don't practice taking shelter of the Lord in our daily lives, then when the critical time will come, how can we really take shelter of the Lord? It's not easy. If we say that okay, at the time of death I will just chant Hare Krishna, and it will be it's easy, that at the time of death I will just chant Hare Krishna. But it's not as easy. If somebody like Sachin Tendulkar, he must have played, or Virat Kohli, whosoever your favorite cricketer, like if you have practiced like many test matches, you can see how many test matches they have played, how many practices they have done. Every day they are practicing cricket, right? And then when these tournaments come, like these World Cups, and then that final game over comes, then at that point only we will be able to perform. If suppose Lata Mangeshkar is given a bat and asked her, okay, put just bat and give a 6, she won't be able to do, right? Because she didn't practice. She practiced singing, so she will be able to sing. She will be able to perform on a very critical situation in front of thousands of people. She can sing and make perfect notes, right? Because she practiced that. So in the same way, at the time of death, we can perfect our lives. We can perfect our lives only when we have practiced renouncing things, like mentally. So it's not like there is it could be possible that there is a person who is really rich, who has many houses, many cars. Still he's a renounced personality. He can be a renounced personality. Like he can perfect his life even before 5 seconds of his death. Like mentally he will renounce everything and then he will perfect his life. But it could be also possible that a beggar who has just a penny, and he will be proud of his penny and he won't be able to perfect his life because he is attached to his penny. So it is not it's mere just the external renunciation of things, but it's the subtle renunciation which is needed. So we need to perfect our lives by renunciation, like by removing this mentality of possessing material things, and and we should read scriptures, we should practice actually, like chanting, hearing, reading, seva, sadhu sangha. So we should do this so that we can actually practice. If we won't, and if he'll come and then Krishna will give us small surprise tests in here and there, so that one day when the final test will come, we will be able to perform. So, and these surprise tests are just like we get we are in some conflict, or somebody did something to us. So how we react, like do we react in that situation or do we respond in that situation? So we pass or fail in that way. So if we respond properly, then we'll inculcate different values like humility, tolerance, patience. So these are like small, like every moment of our life is like if you are really enthusiastic to progress in spiritual life, then every moment can be very much like exciting. That okay, you will look at the different things, like okay, this is a small test. Like if I had a conflict with somebody, then I can look at it from a different angle. It's not just that he did this to me or she did this to me. I didn't do anything, but she or he did this to me. It's not my fault. But if we take ownership and we see it from a different angle, that like the person, he or she is, from inside he is calling out for love, but he is not getting love, and he is behaving, he's trying to get love in very weird ways. Then and if we just see from different angle, then it won't affect us, and we can be more patient and tolerant in that situation and be more humble. So every moment can be exciting, and we can look at it as a test, and we can inculcate these good qualities in us, which will purify us. When we perform good in a test, then it will help us to remove these anarthas inside us, like this ego tendency that this is mine, or I'm right, I'm always right. We can try to separate ourselves from the ego, and when we'll do this on and off, like regularly, then it will be easier later, and then we'll become more humble, and other things we'll learn. We can practice it, and we can develop all the other good qualities, and then at the time of death, we can be even, like it will be easier, like for the final test. And for different, and then for here in this verse, Bali Maharaj, like he had to give up everything. So this was his way of being perfect. Like he is already a good pure devotee, but still that moment of perfection was basically when he gave up all his material possessions. But it's not like a stereotype test. Okay, it's not like a stereotype test that okay, class 10 board exam paper is like this section, this many marks, and this. It's not like that. It's like like in PhD, like there are variations in when you write thesis. There are variations that okay, it's not like exactly it should be like this. There are variations. So in bhakti also, when we are tested, the way of perfection is it could be variable. It's not stereotype. It's not like one style. It could be happening for different people, different things. So for Bali Maharaj, it was like at that point giving up everything. So for Parikshat Maharaj, he got the curse to die in 7 days, and then he perfected his life by giving up everything and then like taking shelter of the Lord by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. For Pandavas, they didn't get any curse like you die in 7 days, or they didn't have to give up like they were not challenged to give up everything. They retired basically, like they lived their complete life and then they retired from their own voluntarily, and then they gave up their things and then they left. And then similarly there was one devotee in Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned, Maharaj Priyavrat. So he lived millions of years, he ruled for millions of years, he had many wives, and he also had many thousands of children, I think, like a lot of children, and he ruled and he was also attached to his family life, but he was also a pure devotee, so Lord protected him, and he lived his life not like we think that like happily ever after types. So he lived that. So but he also attained perfection because he was already a devotee. So for different person, taste will be different in different ways, and but if we keep practicing on daily basis, then it might be possible that we don't have to take the hard way, because we already learned that we already learned that lesson. But if we don't learn the lesson, that type of situation will keep coming to us, regularly. And if that situation is coming to us, if any situation is coming to us regularly, then we can think that okay, there is a lesson for me to learn which I haven't learned, and I should figure out and learn it. So then we will see a change in our life, and that situation won't come again and again in that life. So every moment can be taken as as a test, and like in a good way, not like oh my God, Krishna is testing me every day. In a good way, like like a spiritual warrior, that okay, let's fight. So we can take this. And also there is an example from Chaitanya Charitamrita of Pundak Vidyanidhi. So I don't know how many of you know about him, but he is basically the incarnation of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, like Radharani's father, in Chaitanya Charitamrita Leela. So Chaitanya Leela. So he is a pure devotee already, but because of this Leela, like so Pundak Vidyanidhi, he is a very very rich person, and in Bengal he was living, and he had like many houses, and if you go in his house, it's like all the furnishings are like gold, the stairs are made of jewels, like so much opulence he had. And so Mukunda, one devotee in Chaitanya Leela, he took Gadadhar Pandit to him, like he told Gadadhar Pandit that there is a pure devotee, let's go and meet him. So Gadadhar Pandit said, oh okay, I want to meet him, so let's go. And then they both went, and then they came to Pundak Vidyanidhi's house. And then when they both came, and like Gadadhar Pandit, he saw Pundak Vidyanidhi, and he was like, okay, he is, and what he looks, he Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he was basically, he had like some girls were standing beside him and they were smiling in a different way, and Pundrik Vidyanidhi was also there, and Gadadhar Pandit, like, and he looked at him and he was like, I can just see a only material person, like I can't see any, devotee here. But Mukunda, like when he basically thought this, that okay, he is not a pure devotee, he is just a materialistic person. So it's an offense, like it's a judgmental attitude, that we are judging the person, that okay, he is this, he is that, whatever. But Mukunda, he understood Gadadhar's mind, and so Gadadhar Pandit asked Mukunda, where is the devotee which you were talking about? And Pundrik Vidyanidhi is right in front of him. So Mukunda, he understood that Gadadhar Pandit didn't get. So Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he chanted the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where he recited the verse of Krishna killing, like bestowing mercy on Putana. So that verse he chanted, and when Pundrik Vidyanidhi heard that verse, he got so much, like he went in deep meditation actually, and then he fainted. Like that was. And then when Gadadhar Pandit looked at him, that oh my god, like Pundrik Vidyanidhi fainted, like he is in deep meditation. Then he realized that he did a great mistake by assuming that he is a materialistic person and not a devotee. So then he begged for forgiveness, and then also took initiation from him. So yeah, and also Mukunda also did the same mistake before of judging Pundrik Vidyanidhi before, and so this attitude also of this attitude of judging others is also a kind of material possession which we all have, and we should also give away this material possession of judging others. And this is also very much dangerous for our progress in bhakti. So I would like to ask you all, like whoever sitting next to you, you can discuss, like, was there any point in life where you judged somebody and later you came to know, judging in any way, like it could be dress, the way of eating, or whatever, like you have judged anyone and then later you came to know that it was completely opposite what you thought. So I can give you one example. Suppose somebody is sitting in the front and the person is using the phone in the lecture, right? And the other person somewhere sitting there is looking, oh, that person is using mobile phone. It's not good manners to use mobile phone, like he is using mobile phone, oh my god, bad habit. And then later and then the person was making notes on the mobile phone, right? And then later you came to know, oh, he was making notes, that I was wrong, like I judged the person. So some kind of this incidents if you had where you judged a person and later out you came to know that no, I was wrong. So maybe 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. You can discuss with your partner.
She's the only one who judged me because it wasn't my mistake. Like in my second year, we had this PTR wherein my dad came for the very first time before marriage. Yeah. College it was like it was the very first PTR routine So when my mom and dad came, she was like, she's the sweetest kid I have known in the whole class. It's just that वो थोड़ा सा distract हो गई है. I just hope and pray that वो बहुत अच्छा
Okay, last minute, just quick wrap up.
In college, you have to practice for your own future. Apart from that, it's just like do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so now we'll come back and will anybody like to share something? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So this is from my school time. That we had a teacher that was very strict from the very first day of the class. He was very strict. He didn't let us discuss or talk or some way because and we had so much of resistance. Like personally, I had so much of resistance towards him, and I used to not pay attention in his class and so I didn't pay attention in his class. I used to maybe sometimes bunk his class and will go to another teacher and do another teacher's work and stuff. And then at the end of the year, the academic year, I realized that teacher was being like this, so strict and disciplining everyone every time, because we should pay attention to what he's exactly teaching. And luckily I also got good marks because some of the class I attended, of course. So this was the time when we judged I judged the teacher that he's why he's so rude or not so friendly teacher. That was my situation.
Thank you, Madhurya. Anyone else? You need to switch it on.
It was my first company where I remember I was working on a weekend and there was no one else apart from just one person that I saw. I gave him a call. He didn't respond. So first I felt like, nah, he's maybe just ignoring. But then I found out when I reached him that he can't listen or speak. So that was, of course, a moment where then I became aware and also helped others in the future that don't misunderstand them.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. It's not been so much of time. Like it's recently, I think not more than let's say 6 months or 7 months. Like there was a new joinee and I didn't knew. Like I looked into his CV. Like he was in a senior position and looked quite like a little bit old also. And I thought like he joined in my department and we are doing everything in new technology, everything in cutting edge technology, and then he seems a little bit old, so I thought I looked at CV, he was working on very old technology, and when I got to know after maybe 1 month or 2 months after attending regular stand-ups with him, the way he was talking, he was talking everything in the whatever the new technology, he was going so deep inside it, and then I thought okay, I did mistake by judging him, and now I feel that I should be working under him, so I feel like that.
Nice, thank you, Prabhu. Anyone who had some experience within a community here? Yes.
So Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, I just want to say maybe I will not put the names or something. So because whenever I am here in the temple, I am always thinking about some service. Not we have to do this, do that, do this, do that. So maybe it happened, some devotees, I asked, can you please help? Can you please do this? Can you please help us like this and that? And I can say it like that in English. There is a proverb the relationship started with a wrong foot. I think English proverb is there, yeah? Something like that too, yeah? Yeah, we started in a wrong foot, and then later on, I was really in the beginning I was really annoyed with the devotee, or maybe I feel he's just coming for prasadam and going, he's not doing any seva, he's not becoming a part of the community, and he has no interest about bhakti. But then slowly when I tried to open up to him and be a little bit more close and friendly, then I saw the devotee, the person has changed a lot, doing seva, coming to the temple, and also took up the path of bhakti. So yeah, sometimes these things comes into our natural way. What you told, this is the material modes acting in us. So yeah, I totally agree with that. And then I shared these things with one of the devotee, and he basically mentioned this is for all of us. So who are practicing the path of bhakti and who are trying to serve the Lord, and also the devotees. So then Prabhuji told me that the people who are coming to the temple, they are all guests of Lord Jagannath, and we are the servant of Lord Jagannath. So this is our duty, and this should be our mood, the attitude, that whoever guests they are coming, they are guest of my Lord, and I am Lord's Das. So I am also their Das, so I have to serve them without any kind of judgment. So after that I felt really pacified, and still right now I will not say still that judgmental Shyamlal is not there. I will not say that it's there, but I try to catch it. Hey Shyamlal, you are judging, please don't do that like that.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we should all train ourselves like that, by catching our me self and bring it back, and keep nourish the good side of ours. Thank you everyone for your contributions. It was very nice. So, yeah, this judgmental attitude of Anya Ninda, we should, it's also kind of a material possession, and it's a subtle material possession, and we should also give away this mentality. And and I will just summarize what we talked, and then we can take up question and answers. So here the pastime of Bali Maharaj, Bali Maharaj gave up everything, his own body, to Vamandev, and then he he perfected his life by receiving the favor of Lord Vamandev. And we, all the material possessions, they are very much temporary, and we cannot really take with us anything. Just one point which I kind of had a recent realization. So when my daughter was born, the moment she came into my arms, it was like she just came completely, with nothing. She had nothing, not even clothes. It was such a a moment, okay, we will also go, and we cannot take with us anything, and said all the material possessions we will have to leave with us, and we can make our lives easier if we keep practicing renunciating these material possessions, and also these artificial needs which we have, we can reduce these artificial needs. Okay, I need, suppose I have a phone, okay, let's also have a mobile phone holder, or I some very useless things. So we should see in our life, we should already practice giving up external things by keeping things what we actually need. Analyze okay, what we have, what we can give, and keep our life externally also very simple, and also internally, this mentality of possessing things, we should also practice to give away and not attach ourselves to our things. So yeah, and then we should also we talked about cleaning our AQI, taking the responsibility of purifying our own air quality, air quality index, or we can say body quality index, whatever. So mind quality index, NQI. We can clean our own index by chanting, by hearing Krishna Katha, by coming to the temple rendering service, and by associating with devotees, with the sadhus, and taking their shelter, accepting Guru, so eating prasadam. So all are these different aspects of devotional service which we should take up to, and we can, since the new year started, it's even not too late to take a resolution. We can still take a resolution to chant, to take up to this process seriously, and if we are already chanting, then we should commit to ourselves that we should chant more, or we should read, chant, hear, so take something more. If we are doing everything, then maybe we should accept shelter of a guru, or take the next steps basically in bhakti. And and then we talked about also giving up the mentality of judging others, that is anya ninda. So we should also not judge others. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll be happy if you have any comments or any questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think no one has any question. Yeah?
So you mentioned about this causal ocean. Causal.
Karana Dakshaya Ocean.
Yes, Karunadakshaya ocean. So you mentioned that. Sorry, my question will be too imagining. So you mentioned in the story it started to leak and everything. So my imagination is saying me. Can you explain how it started leaking? It's like, is it in a planet or it's like in a solar system somewhere, or how did it started to like leak in the material world? And my second question is, as you mentioned about Bali Maharaj, she conquered all three lokas.
Mm.
And does this also include heavenly planets?
Heavenly planets, yes.
Yes. So my question is like, it's like it will be far away, like so many light years. So how?
That time they had the capacity. Even if you like Narsim, like that pastime where Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyakashipu and also this Hiranyaksha and Varadev. So they all like, for them, like going to different planet was easy. Like you can access, you have that power to go there. So for him also, Bali Maharaj, he conquered the heavenly planets actually. So Indradev was not ruling it anymore. Bali Maharaj was ruling the heavenly planets. And also regarding the causal ocean, like these. So there is there are three Vishnus: Karnodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So the first being Karnodakshaya Vishnu, he was in this. He is laying in the Karana ocean, and then in that, basically, like when he breathes out from his body pores, many different material universes they come, like they are like egg shaped, like a andakar shape, and they're different. So each andakar or each egg shaped is basically a universe in itself, like material universe, and there are 8 layers of covering. That is like earth, air, ether, fire, water, and then mind, intelligence, and ego. So 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. So there are these coverings, and then the 14 planetary systems, they come inside it. So when Vamandev came, he became so big that his toenail pierced that covering of the material universe, and since these all universes, these andakars, they are inside the Karnakshaya ocean, so that water leaked into it, and then the water came to different lokas, and also when it came to different lokas, and then its intensity was very high, right? So when it came to Bhuloka, in which we are there, so the demigods were thinking, if that intensity will come here, everything will be devastated. So that is why, like Shiva, he said, okay, I will take care. And then the stream from his jata, he took the force, that intensity, and then he released it slowly, so that now we can see Ganga, like so that is how it is. So it went to different lokas.
Thank you, it cleared a lot. So
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, I was just looking for the words. Let me read the words. So it's in Canto 7, chapter 10, verse number 18. Like Narasimha Dev is speaking to Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj is basically the great grandfather of Bali Maharaj. So he's telling, like, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Prahlada, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified, along with 21 forefathers in your family. Because you were born in this family, the entire dynasty has been purified." So Mataji, then the question is, in the same family, like as Bali Maharaj is the great grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, so he came, and then he again conquered the three world. What he's like Prahlad Maharaj's father, like Hiranyakashipu also did. So that time Narasimhadev came. That was a different approach. He fought with him, like he literally took it in a different way. And in Vaman Avatar, he also again came, but this time also Lord has to come and he has to take. You understand that there is this similarity in both of the past times.
Yeah.
So my question is here. So what was the intention of Bali Maharaj to conquer this whole three universe? Was it also like something like what Hiranyakashipu did, or it was something else different that
I don't think so that it was like the same intention of Bali Maharaj as like Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was not a devotee, but Bali Maharaj is a devotee, even though he is from a demonic family. Yeah, but that's what it is.
He is the only one of the king at that time. That's why he conquered the whole.
But he might have, this ego that I'm the ruler, so maybe because of that. But Hiranyakashipu was more like, anti-Vishnu, like.
He wanted to take revenge of Hiranyaksha.
Yeah, revenge also, but both of them were against Lord Vishnu, right? Like they wanted to defeat Vishnu and wanted to create a system of their own worship. So that is completely against, but but Bali Maharaj, he is not, like he is a devotee, like he also gave up his own spiritual master, like who told that don't do this because he is Vishnu, but still he was like, oh, you should be telling me that, do this, like not do this. So who are you then? So then he even left his renounced his spiritual master. So he is a devotee, like but it was that moment where he perfected. Yeah, but like I'm not sure. Like it's better to ask, somebody. Yes, Prabhuji.
I don't know. I mean, I was actually I think you gave a very nice contemplation about these things, but to get a maybe more or better answer, we should ask some like Swamijis or someone who is all the time thinking about Bhagavatam and knowing maybe more background stories also. So just from the surface, I would agree to your idea. But basically what I also heard is that the demons, basically they have they want to conquer the bright side, let's say like this. So they are coming from the dark side, but they want to subdue everything. So that's their purpose actually. That's what. But this is not scripture based or something. This is just some devotee told me like this, some senior. So because usually Indra is not going to conquer the dark planets, but they are coming from the dark planets and want to subdue the bright planets, something like this, like the upper planetary systems.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes.
I wanted to ask, when Shukracharya is Shukracharya said like to Bali Maharaj to don't give anything to Vamandev, because he knows like he's a Vamandev. And then why Bali Maharaj, he said like whatever you want you can ask. And then
It was before, I think.
it
He-
was
Like Bali Maharaj asked him, like he always honored Brahmanas,
yeah.
and he used to give charity. So he asked, when he saw that okay, Vamandev, he's in the form he's a Brahmana. So he asked him, okay, Brahmana, what you want? You can ask for whatever you want. And then he said that I just want 3 steps of Lord. And Shukracharya like looked at him and heard,
that
and then
time-
he said
then he
that
said,
don't give. He's Vishnu.
Then why like Shukracharya didn't like mention like he's a Vaman like to Bali Maharaj?
He mentioned that he is Vishnu, don't give.
Also, but he's like what do you say?
Yeah.
But he always prays to like the Brahmins to give like everything, like whatever they ask.
Yeah.
So that's why he gave. And then he got like Bali Maharaj, he got pride when like Vamandev asked, I just want only 3 steps of land. And then that's why he was asking, no, like you have to ask me like more. I want to give you more.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know, Prabhu. Maybe.
You?
It was, yeah, maybe, but he owned a lot of things. But so asking is like, it's just, I don't know if it's just pride or not, but it's like, if you go to Mukesh Ambani and tell him that I want 500 rupees, so Mukesh Ambani can say that you can ask for more. Yeah, so this may not be pride.
Then I feel like it would happen like this,
We'll take it personally.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mataji has question.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the wonderful lecture and the 2 key takeaways. That first, we shouldn't think that whatever we have it forever, we possess it forever. And the second, that we shouldn't judge anyone. Yeah. So my question is, you mentioned that Lord will take test anytime, and it is not so declared that okay, today is my test. No, but when the test comes and we lose anything, for example, Bali Maharaj lost everything that he possessed. As a human being, the first thing, of course, the first feeling that we feel is shocked, and the another feeling attached to related to being shocked is grief. For example, losing a person or losing something which was very important to us. So in that grief, it is like the grief is so the grief covers our mind so much that we are not able to direct our mind in thinking in a right way, that we don't possess it, it is temporary. In that grief we couldn't think that. So my question is, how could we process and practice that we shouldn't, maybe not, grief is okay to feel like that, or maybe to direct grief towards Lord?
We can only direct our attention towards Lord when we are grieving, if we have practiced it before. If we haven't practiced before and something happens, like some family member leave us, then we cannot take shelter of the Lord. We can only just ask, we can only challenge him that, oh Lord, why you did this to me? Why you have taken him or her? We can only ask him this. But we cannot take his shelter if we haven't practiced it before. So we need to practice it. And then, like a test like this is also a test, like how we are, if we are able to surrender, if we are able to take shelter of the Lord or not. So we need to practice it before, so that when the critical situation comes, we are able to respond to the situation, take shelter by taking shelter of the Lord, and not react in the situation. Like grieving is okay, but really, like really devastating our own self because of that attachment is not healthy. And also, like Bali Maharaj, he lost everything. He gave, like he lost everything, but still he was not in shock. He was happily, he gave everything. Like, you know, he was, first of all, he gave the promise that, okay, I gave a promise to give you 3 steps, and now the third step you can keep. I give you my own self. So, and he willingly did that. He happily gave that as an offering to the Lord. So, but when something happened to us, we become very fearful. We become shocked. It's because we don't take shelter of the Lord. We don't see the things as Krishna's property. We think that this is my property. So even like in a relationship, we can see each other as, oh, my husband is, you know, my Krishna's property, and I, at the moment, I have to take care, I have to serve him nicely so that he's, you know, Krishna's property. And similarly, husband can think for wife that, okay, she's my wife, I have to, she is not my wife, she is Krishna's daughter, and I have to take care of her nicely. Similarly with children, that these are not my children, but Krishna's children, and I need to take care of her or him nicely.
So basically, yeah, I mean, is it a good practice like Bali Maharaj that promising to the Lord that, yes Lord, I will commit to my practices, and then when the time comes when Lord tests us, to happily surrender to him? Is it
I didn't get the question, sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, sure. Like like Bali Maharaj promised the Brahmana Vamandev that he will give whatever he want. So I'm just saying that, is this practice to first promising to the Lord is good or not? Like promising, and when the time comes, that when he tests us, and we should be able to.
We should commit ourselves. We should take commitments. Like we should commit some sort of, you know, daily sadhana to the Lord. Like we are doing it for the Lord's pleasure, not for our own pleasure. And the whole process will purify us only. Like Lord will not, you know, He doesn't want our bhoga. He just wants our love and attention. That's all. These are all external activities so that we can do, because in our mind we are not there. Our mind are not here. So we cannot, if we do a simple seva with being completely mindful, then we can be like Krishna conscious like this. Like somebody asked Prabhupada, like, how long does it take to surrender? And then Prabhupada said, 1 second, like in an instant you can surrender to the Lord. But that skill should be there, like to surrender. It's also a skill. Like you practice and do sadhana, and you know, or everything is like Krishna consciousness. Not like when I come to temple, then I'm doing Krishna conscious. Not like that. Even my daily duties can be Krishna conscious. So yeah, it's just a mind game. It's just man mana man bhakto. So it's like only Krishna is that wants our minds, our hearts. That's all. Not the external things. Like he has Radharani who's preparing, more than 56 bhog every day without repeating a single item. And and we, like, when we offer bhoga, it's not just like, okay, we are offering dal rice. He doesn't want that dal rice, but he wants the love in that dal rice. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for coming. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Nishtavati Mataji ki
Jai.